This PowerPoint will help remind you of how to write a strong topic sentence in a paragraph, and also some of the elements of a body paragraph that we want to make sure that we're thinking about. This will be helpful to you as you craft essay number 2, but also as you craft essays 3 and 4. So hopefully that this will be a bit of review, but maybe just a different way to think about it. So as we think about a typical 5-paragraph essay, it's usually the basic structure that you're taught in high school. We start with an introduction section, we have body section, we have a conclusion section. Most every essay is going to, really any piece of writing is going to follow that basic structure. How many paragraphs are in the body, how many paragraphs are in the introduction, how many paragraphs are in the conclusion will definitely vary. But today we're going to be focusing on this section, the body paragraphs. So the first part of a strong body paragraph is going to be a strong topic sentence. Well, as we think about splitting up our paragraphs, we want to make sure we cover one thing at a time in our essays. Okay, so each paragraph should have a clear and distinct main idea. Another way to think about that is anytime you hit enter and tab to start a new paragraph, have a reason for it, have a purpose, make it a conscious choice. Think about ways to split up your thesis statement, split up your topic, etc. So a topic sentence is a way to kind of explain to the reader what is that new idea and how does it connect back together. Generally, a topic sentence is going to come as the first couple of sentences of a new paragraph, a new body paragraph. We want to think about it kind of building a bridge between our paragraphs. If that bridge is incomplete, if it's not very strongly built, it's going to collapse. It's not going to be able to bring the reader from one thought to the next. So we want to think really carefully about that. Sometimes a topic sentence might be split into 2 sentences. I've seen some examples where students will put it kind of at the end of one body paragraph and then at the beginning of the next one. That's fine if you kind of like that style, but definitely make sure it's there's at least part of it at the beginning of a new paragraph. Sometimes when we have a thesis statement, it's really easy to think about what our topic sentence is going to be. If we have a thesis that we call list thesis, where lists our 3 main ideas, then it's really easy to think about each paragraph is going to be one piece of that list, each piece of that list. And of course, the topic sentences for the paragraphs will match each piece in the list. You can see the colors kind of help you think about that. It's going to help you focus on one particular thing as we're talking about that. If we have more of an umbrella thesis, one that has a general statement, not a list of your main points, then you want to think of a way for yourself to divide that up, even if you haven't done it in your thesis statement. This one is talking about Japan, a different country and culture than the United States. This author split their topic sentences into 3. One paragraph will talk about housing, one paragraph will talk about informal versus formal, one paragraph will talk about individuality. So it doesn't matter what kind of thesis you have, you need to be able to break up that thesis or break up your topic into main ideas. When you think about kind of taking out your topic sentences in your thesis statement, you should have a clear map of where the essay is going. So when I think about a topic sentence, I always think it needs to have 3 parts in it. You don't have to think about this as a formula, but it has to be true as we're thinking about it. So when we make a big shift in topic, especially, we want to think about making sure all 3 of these parts are really clear. So first part is transition language, second part is introducing the new topic, third part is connecting that new topic back to the thesis statement as we're talking about that. So the first part is to have some sort of transition language in there. So that'll show the reader very generally how your new thought connects to the previous thought. How's it going? So there's a lot of different topics or transition words that show similarity, words that show opposition, words that show sequence. When you think about similarity, words like another, furthermore, also, additionally, to continue work. Show opposition, on the other hand, however, nevertheless, in contrast, etc. Sequence, first, next, last, finally, after, then, etc. I do want to point out in the opposition category, however is a word that shows opposition or difference. So if your thought is continuing, that is not an appropriate transition choice to begin that paragraph. That's one I see misused a lot. After you have some sort of transition language, or in addition to some transition language. You also need to introduce what's the new paragraph about. You should be able to sum that up in a word, in a phrase, in a short amount of time. You should be able to say, what does everything in this paragraph have to do with? Should be really clear. What are all your details? How do they fit together in that paragraph? And that needs to be in the topic sentence to help the reader understand where to put all those details. The last part of a strong topic sentence is it has to connect that topic, that new topic, back to the thesis statement or your overall essay. Oftentimes we do that through a very simple repeated phrase or repeated idea, maybe a synonym, something like that, to help the reader remember what the overall paper is about. It might seem really repetitive to you, but as a reader we really appreciate those gentle reminders. Oh yeah, the essay is about blank. For this paper, I would assume that you're going to kind of repeat the main adjective or feeling or idea, concept that you're linking your ad to, right? So if you, in that Taylor Swift ad we've been talking about a lot, if I was linking that to the idea of fairy tale, probably every topic sentence I have should use some version of fairy tale, fantasy, magic, something to remind the reader, oh yeah, that's what she's trying to do by giving me all of these details. So when you look at that thesis, those topic sentences, if I pulled out just those 4 sentences, I should know exactly where the paper is going and what it's trying to do. That's a good revision strategy. I always recommend if you do that on a separate Word document, copy and paste your topic sentences and your thesis in order. Make sure it flows really clearly, just like that, and then you should have a pretty good structure, overall structure to your essay. So looking at some of these topic sentences, these are ones that students have turned in before. One example, location, 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 that's the key to success. When I look at that sentence, I have no idea what the topic of the essay is. I have no idea what came before. I don't have the transition word. I'm assuming this paragraph is about location, but I don't know in terms of what. So that needs a little bit of work. In the second example, not only is Star Wars a favorite because of the space travel, lightsaber duels, and great visual effects, its popularity goes further within the heart of an audience. How does that sound to you guys as a topic sentence? To me, it sounds really strong. I have not only, it's a good transition, also have goes further, another good transition. So I know exactly what this paper has been talking about before, and I know exactly what the topic of the essay is, right? Star Wars, popularity, and I know exactly what this paragraph is about, the heart of the audience. Last example, radio is one thing, film is another. I'm assuming that the last paragraph talked about radio. I'm assuming that this paragraph is going to talk about film, but I don't have a link back to that thesis statement. So that's when I would want to have a repeated word or phrase in terms of horror or in terms of fantasy or whatever it might be, would be maybe a good way to revise that. So after you have your topic sentence, you want to think about your paragraph in the essay. All the sentences within the paragraph have to relate back to your topic sentence. If they don't, you either need to change the topic sentence or move that sentence within the paragraph to fit. Irrelevant sentences are really common in student writing, especially in first drafts, and they're definitely something we want to try and avoid in our further writing. We also want to think about organizing our ideas to help the reader understand what those details, once we've got the relevant ones, what order to put them in. These are 6 different organizational strategies. There's probably more that you could use, but that might kind of help you as you're deciding where to put what sentence as you create it. Sometimes we go from general to specific. So we'll start with a general topic, and then as the paragraph continues, we're going to get more and more specific in detail to a particular thought or idea. And so that's one way to kind of organize our ideas. Another way to organize ideas is the topic, illustration, explanation. It's basically the topic sentence will state a topic, you'll give an example, and then you'll explain the example. You may, we can think of this as TIE. You could do TIE, IE, IE. So you would state the topic, give an example, explain the example, give another example, explain the example, give another example, explain the example. So you can use as many as you want to do that. That illustration could be a fact, expert testimony, a specific example, etc. So just make sure you're explaining what that means. Another way we organize our thoughts is progressive order. We start with the least important, end with the most important. Generally, that's the way rhetorically that we expect arguments to be laid out. Start weak, end strong. We want to end with the strongest thought last. Directional order would be if you were describing something. You might start with, say, the left-hand side and end on the right-hand side. You might start from the top and end at the bottom. That's when you can think about that. If you're going to take a paragraph to describe your ad to your readers, you might want to think about using directional order for that. And the last one is specific to general. Start with a specific idea and then get more and more general to explain how that fits into a wider category. So after we have our topic sentence and our other sentences in the paragraph, we always want to have a clincher sentence. That's the last sentence of a body paragraph. Sometimes it rephrases the topic. I think those tend to be weak, like in conclusion or in summary or something. But instead maybe you have a final thought. It's kind of a signpost telling your reader you're done with that topic, you're moving on to a new one. So kind of wrap up that one topic so that you're ready to move on to something else. Again, it doesn't have to be a summary of your whole paragraph or a restatement of your topic sentence, but a way that it sort of feels like things are ending. Right? So just to review, organize a paragraph, make sure you have a strong topic sentence, include all three parts, have supporting sentences, arrange in a correct order in a way that makes sense, and always end a paragraph with a strong clincher sentence or concluding sentence. Make sure that you think about indenting every paragraph. That's an MLA thing. And then as you're revising it, make sure every sentence is complete and every thought ends with a period, exclamation mark, question mark, etc. Those are really common. Easy typos to fix. So I hope that helps you as you start to craft essay number 2 and hopefully essay number 3 and 4 as well. And I look forward to seeing what you guys come up with.